Pretty interesting day for semiconductor companies today. We can see Nvidia is up roughly 4%, AMD is up almost 7%, and even your favorite semiconductor Intel is up almost 6%. What's happening? Well, let's find out in today's episode. So for semiconductor companies and for the overall semiconductor market, I do believe there's three bullish cases happening right now. The first is this, that we see analysts calling the bottom for the PC market and also for the kind of consumer electronic market. And we know that a lot of these companies, Nvidia, AMD, and Intel, even though they are really they really focus right now in artificial intelligence and data centers, a good bulk of their revenue comes from the consumer market. So hearing this is kind of getting a lot of investors excited that this bottom that was probably expected to end in quarter three or quarter four of this year is now expected to maybe see a better recovery in quarter two of this year. So that bottom seems to be shifting at an earlier rate, which a lot of semiconductor investors are liking. The other thing I do want to mention is kind of continuing here with the end of the consumer tech bottom. We did hear that from TSMC, their utilization rate is expected to recover in the second half of 2023. We see a few articles kind of mentioning that. Again, that kind of continues and fuels that same thought that we just discussed, that hey, the consumer market, even though over inventory correction was definitely a thing in the past few quarters, it seems to be shifting a lot earlier than previously expected. And obviously that's giving a lot of great news for those semiconductor companies that I mentioned. The final thing that I believe semiconductor investors are excited about is here, this AI war, right? We did see Microsoft, they had an event today where they talk a little bit more about some of their AI solutions. And Microsoft is not the only big tech doing this, right? We see Google doing this. We see Amazon doing this. We see the new version of ChatGPT 4 coming out. And all this is going to fuel the data center needs from companies like Nvidia, like AMD, and Intel. Before we go any further, I want to thank you for watching, and I need your help to reach my goal of 30,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So if you can do me a favor, hit that subscribe button and thumbs up. Also, if you want some fantastic insight into the semiconductor industry, join my other channel, Semiconductor Investing and More, where I use my electrical engineering background to break down the semiconductor market. Finally, I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video, and check out fool.com/Jose for the 10 best stocks to buy now. With that link, you get a promotional offer for their subscription service. Now, let's continue with today's episode. I mean, if we take a closer look at AMD's most recent earnings, right, we saw their client revenue was down 51% year over year. And main reason, that consumer market is weak. Now we're seeing that consumer market kind of return back. Investors are expecting maybe not this upcoming quarter to be great, but the guidance, I guess investors are expecting that the guidance is going to be a lot stronger than what we previously thought. Obviously, this also expects strong growth for the data center market because AMD is huge in their server CPUs, which help out during AI workloads as well. Kind of fueling on here, we do know that AMD is focusing a little bit more in the AI market. They are releasing AMD Ryzen AI for laptops, so they continue to kind of go into this AI trend that's happening right now, and it does seem like AMD would definitely be a leader. If we take a closer look at Nvidia, obviously a big portion of their revenue comes from the data center market, so that AI news and continuing to see investments from companies like Microsoft is great news for the data center market. Next, if we look at the gaming market, this used to be a very, very big portion of this company's total revenue, but unfortunately, due to over inventory correction, it saw a bit of a decline. Nvidia did tell us during their earnings that they believed their over inventory corrections was already coming to an end, and we saw the quarter three of fiscal year 2023 was the bottom for them, and they saw growth in quarter four, quarter over quarter, and they expect quarter one of fiscal year of 2024 to also represent a strong another quarter over quarter growth. But now, again, we're seeing now that the consumer market might be even stronger. So there is a possibility that Nvidia can beat that quarter one guidance and can also give us a nice upside. Right. And I believe this is what investors are betting for. They're betting for better results in certain companies for quarter one, but they're definitely betting for better guidance for the upcoming quarters. And that comes with a risk, right? Unfortunately, if they don't meet those expectations, these stock prices can pull down. Next, if we finally take a closer look at Intel, we can see a good portion of their market comes from client computing. That is down 36%. Data center is down 33% year over year. Total revenue was down 28%. So Intel is the bottom here in forms of growth, but we are seeing all those markets kind of turn around. So obviously great news for Intel. I personally, in forms of valuation and growth opportunity, I believe AMD is my favorite at the moment. I do believe Nvidia, I keep mentioning it, but it keeps proving me wrong. Luckily, Nvidia is my number one position right now, but Nvidia, in my mind, is priced to perfection too much, and that sometimes that gets a little bit worrisome. But I've been saying that since like 210, 220, and the stock keeps going up, and this is why I don't really try to time the market. I believe in the long term of things. This has the huge potential of becoming a $1 trillion company. AMD, very similar. I do believe this has numerous tailwinds in the consumer market, in the gaming market, in the data center market. I enjoy AMD. Intel, I want to say, is for investors that are looking for a turnaround story. Things can go in the bad way and in the negative side, especially as they continue to push in the manufacturing side. But obviously, I've always mentioned it, there is growth opportunities. I understand why certain investors would invest in Intel. Personally, it's not for me, especially with the tech I see in the other players. So let me know what you guys think about the semiconductor market. I want to say it's getting into those prices where now things are getting priced to perfection. So we have to be very careful when dollar cost averaging or entering into a position. Luckily for me, dollar cost, my price points for AMD and Nvidia are way past this, so I don't get too nervous in times like this, and I believe long-term potential is super strong. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Take care, have a good day, and see you next time.